Hey guys, Dave here, and welcome back to another episode of Press C for Carnage. Joining me as always is Kollin and Jordan.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
So, we all heard at the Game Awards that a 50-year-old kid went up on stage and spoke out some controversial statements. But as much as I would love to talk about that, I think we need to see what's going to arise from the situation. So, let's go on to what was actually presented at the Game Awards. Jordan?
Sure, yeah. Elden Ring got Game of the Year apparently at the end, which is cool. I mean, I haven't played it. I've been watching a bunch of streamers play it and YouTubers. It looks cool. I just don't have a really big opinion on it personally, and I don't want to say yay or nay because I do not like Dark Souls likes. I suck at them really bad. I am not very good at them at all, and they irritate me to no end. So I have no comment on that. Do you guys have any comment on that? I know Carnage, I think you played a little bit of Elden Ring, didn't you?
I have, and I've been thinking of going back and doing another run of Elden Ring now that they've made, minor adjustments to, what's the phrase I'm looking for?
Like mechanics,
Well, not the mechanics,
difficulty.
but no, where it makes your life easier.
Yeah, difficulty. So that you're saying like quality of
Well, they
life
changed,
changes.
yeah, quality of life. That was the phrase I was looking for. So they did make quality of life changes. I personally will not change the difficulty. It is a Souls game. This is what you're going in to play.
Right.
And you're always, no matter what you do, you are forewarned that this is a hard game.
And I don't have a problem with quote unquote hard games. I have a problem with games that no matter how I explain this, it's gonna sound like I'm complaining about every little thing. Like, I think it's unreasonably hard, at least for me. I mean, obviously there are people out there who've done it blindfolded, and they're like, "What are you talking about? This game is easy." Like, for
Well,
me,
you're talking about players that have played Souls from Dark Souls. They've played the Souls game from the beginning.
right,
And
right.
they've played Bad Blood. And
First,
yes, so this is just another game, it's another campaign to them.
right. For me, I think the main issue is like pattern recognition. I do not, for the life of me, have pattern recognition, like at all. Like I suck at puzzle games. I suck at like games that require extreme patience and learning with that extreme patience and not getting angry after 3 or 4 losses. I can't deal with it. So,
Right. Well,
um,
when it comes to Souls game, yeah, the mechanics are a lot more, uh, we'll say different than most games, especially
right,
a melee game, a hack and slash game. But it's always when in doubt, do a barrel roll towards your target. No matter what, honestly, you bet you roll to your target.
right. When in doubt, do a
You will
barrel roll.
dodge and you will dodge any incoming attack if you roll to the AI. Even if they're doing, their golden red unblockable attack and they come at you, just roll.
Right,
That's Souls. But as far as you can't tiptoe around a ledge because you're gonna fall off, or a
right,
bird's gonna come and knock. Like there's death is imminent. Like it's around you.
right.
But for me, I'm a huge fan of Souls games.
That's cool.
I believe Elden Ring, yes, deserved the Game of the Year.
That's awesome.
One,
Yeah.
because they were released early enough in the year.
Right.
I know we're talking about this because we all think God of War should have got Game of the Year.
I agree. I definitely think it
No,
should have.
it has only been played for a month. 1 month.
Oh,
There's
stop
no
it.
new. No, seriously. Elden Ring has sustained and kept its player base from release.
That argument
And it's
doesn't that argument doesn't make sense though. That would like that argument doesn't make sense because that you're saying
I
that like the
agree.
game cutoff should be like October instead of November or whatever. Like because
No, I'm not. No. I'm talking maybe June at the latest. The game should have been released. You can't be released a month before. Say, yeah, we want to win game. Like it's the same thing with movie awards
right,
or song awards. It has not been established long enough for any flaws
Yeah.
or playthrough
right.
to be considered game of the year.
So
It's still in a hype phase. It's still in the honeymoon phase.
right.
Everybody thinks nothing but the best of this game. In 2-3 months from now, you're gonna have a lot of negative reviews coming out from God of War of what people started to finally notice. Like, hey, wait, why is mechanics like this? Why does the story have these loopholes in it? We haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
With
Okay.
Elden Ring, even though there were problems, they corrected it, but it's still a visually spectacular game.
Right.
And it's over 100 hours of gameplay.
No, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's my opinion before I go any further into it.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you on that phase that it just hasn't been out long enough for it to be truly considered as of the year titles.
If God of War Ragnarok was released, sorry, if it was released into the PC world at the same time, I'm willing to bet they would have got Game of the Year. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though everything I just said, I'm contradicting myself.
Right.
So many more.
I'm pretty sure the PC world would have gave it enough of a boost to get that Game of the Year.
I mean, it's
You know,
I was gonna say I think it should have won just on the fact that it won so many categories. Like it won like 4 or 5 by itself. Like that alone should be, hey, this is Game of the Year. Like, but that's just my opinion. But yeah. So people, we could. I don't know if you guys want to move on or not. But I was just gonna say,
I don't have much more to I don't have any more to say to defend Elden Ring.
okay.
As much as you do to knock me down, so I
just don't like Souls-like, man. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I think Carnage is right. I think possibly. I just a theory, throwing it out there.
Right.
Maybe Sony waited till the last minute to put God of War out there, so you're like Carnage said, they wouldn't find all the bugs and have as many problems, so they'd get higher up in the categories, and it'd be the new thing, so everyone would be flocking to it to give it all this high praise, so it'd get better.
Yeah, and in my opinion, just for a Souls game, to be recognized is spectacular. They're going to continue to pump out these, S tier games, in my opinion.
You mean From Software?
Eh?
From Software, the game studio. That's what you're saying. They're gonna put out more.
Yeah. They're gonna put out. I just call it. Yeah, sorry, I just said Souls. But
no, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Elden, they don't have. God of War has lore to go off of.
Right.
Elden Ring doesn't. It is fabricated per game. The stories don't intertwine with each other, and there's. I don't know. I can't.
I get what you're saying.
I have so much to say that I'm jumbling my words here.
Right. So you're saying that I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying God of War Ragnarok has that background, that backbone, that foundation of being set in a lore that it was already set in stone and already had high praise already.
Yeah, we're talking about PS1 days, dude. Like this is God of War has been supported for maybe not PS1, sorry, PS2, but it's been supported for so long. Like
I think it's the opposite. I think the opposite is true. I think that actually hinders it. I think the fact that they had to make a game as good as, God of War 2018, which was already receiving high praise, and the ones before it, which were mediocre at best. Like they were good games for the time, but like you try to go back to them now and they're not that great. But I mean, the fact that they had to create a sequel to 2018's God of War is such a high stakes gamble to me. I think it's amazing what they did. Like they made a game that was, if not like as good, better than the 2018 release. So I mean, I look at the opposite than you do. I think you're saying that like they had that foundation, they had that ability.
Well, yeah, I think Ragnarok is still considered. I still consider it to be the 2018 game. I think they just had too much of a storyline, too much lore to shove into one game. And I really think they got greedy and split it into two for the monetization. I really do.
So,
because it still hinders around the boy. It's not the God of War we're experiencing. We're experiencing Kratos tell the story of his kid. I don't even know what his name is. Atreus. That's right. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I'm going into another topic here. I think God of War Ragnarok is God of War 2018, just extended lore. The kid's a couple of years older. It's
so I just want to confirm: Ragnarok is the sequel to the remake, which means that. So yeah, I agree with Carnage on this. That had Ragnarok come out a year ago or like 2 years ago, and it found these bugs, and just now they released God of War 3, I don't think it would have been placed as high, because, yeah, everyone loved God of War 1. So,
We were left
That
on a
means that-
cliffhanger with
which means that everyone was flocking to see the sequel, which means people were just happy to get the story completed.
Okay, I
So
see what you're
yeah,
saying.
I can see
Okay,
where Carnage is coming from.
you're saying there was some kind of artificial,
There was an artificial boosting, maybe not a lot, but it was most definitely there
because of the
of
cliffhanger, right?
just because of the cliffhanger.
That
Yes.
makes sense. All right, well, let's move on from that. So I think we should talk about this because there's a fairly loud minority of gamers, specifically COD gamers, like us, me and Carnage. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the vocal minority that likes to complain about this kind of thing. I think it's amazing. Splatoon 3 won the Game of the Awards Best Multiplayer Game, and you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was one of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredded. The multiplayer arcade game. All of those were the nominees, and there's a local vocal minority that is extremely upset that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 did not win and Splatoon 3 did.
No,
So.
they did not deserve to win.
No. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're placing a game against a Nintendo game, game on Nintendo, and it's a well-established and kind of a really liked title. Yeah, it makes sense why it won, and these people are just sad because.
Yeah, and I mean, not to turn your thing into Swiss cheese here, but COD is well established on its own.
Yeah, no,
there's not a person on this planet that you can say COD to, and they won't have some kind of
knowledge of it. Yeah.
Knowledge of it,
right?
You know, even if they play the game, they know it's a game. So
right.
But no, I don't believe they. I believe they didn't deserve it because one, again, back to my other point, they were released in November. With a shit ton of bugs. It was not established. It was not an established game. I'm willing to bet next year they're getting a Game of the Year. I really do. They will have Game of the Year next year. Maybe not Modern Warfare. Warzone. Warzone will have Game of the Year. 100%. And I'll put money on this when they're established. Nobody's going anywhere, you know, and they're unfinished. They're lore. I played the campaign once Warzone opened. I actually played the campaign, and it was so terrible, so buggy. I lost half the map, half the walls, half the everything. I had a visual glitch walking down a tunnel, and I had a spotlight at the beginning, and it was burnt. It was as if my PC was burnt. The pixels were burnt with the spotlight.
Hilarious.
I had to play through it, and
my eyes.
Yeah, and we're trying to be stealthy. It's like, what is this shit? You guys made billions of dollars, billions,
literally billions. Like, we're not even exaggerating.
Stop bringing all these free fucking interns. By 10 times the amount of senior developers that you have because you can afford it.
Right.
And monopoly the shit. Like, God.
It's almost as if big companies make worse and worse products.
That's wow. Okay. I mean.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're just.
That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. That's like planned obsolescence shit. Like I'm not even.
It's. I know I'm going on a rant about this again. But
no worries.
You know, we have. We're gonna bring up the spotlight again. Let's say Grounded, a very small development team with graphics so superior to Warfare. Actually, here's another game, Fallout 4.
Right.
The graphics. Fallout 76.
Fallout 76
that we played.
Yes.
An older generation game that the graphics are phenomenal compared to Warzone.
Right.
How is this possible? How? How is this a game that was originally on the Xbox that was transferred to PC? Has a much better visual representation. There's no latency, there's no lag, there's no FPS issues, there's no vaulting issues, there's no issues. Like, why? How is this?
I'm just gonna bring it up. They probably spent all the money on advertising for double XP weekends with Mountain Dew.
I love it.
It's
so good.
It's just
Just so you know, because you brought up a decent point that I actually wanted to Google because I was curious. Activision Blizzard, the studio that was specifically working on Modern Warfare 2 / Warzone 2, has about 3,000 people, give or take, within their studio. Obsidian, who was working on Grounded, the game you mentioned, has 200. So
yeah. No, now they have 200 now. They did not have 200 early, in alpha stage.
I was gonna say this. Well, this says as of 2019 they had 200, so they might have more now, but
it's still the point of there are 2-man developers, games that we've played with 2-man developers that far succeed what COD is putting out, and they are paying these developers hundreds of thousands of dollars to pump out this shit.
I love your rants, dude. Your rants are so good.
I'm going to give you this. Look, no, I'm gonna say this again. Big companies make worse products. I'm not saying this because I don't like big companies. I like some big companies because I like them. But the problem is once you get to that level, you're no longer hiring people who want to make a game.
Right.
You're hiring coders. You're hiring visual effects people. You're hiring these game designers. You're not hiring people who want to make a game. That crowd who made Grounded are people who are putting their neck on the line trying to make a good game that will make them money. It's possible
that it's passion.
They're lively. It's passion. If you were told to go farm and you were forced to farm and you didn't like farming for a year, you're not gonna put effort into it. You're gonna do the bare minimum for the required task that you have to do.
I guess so, but how privileged, we're going past gaming here, we're going right to ethics. How privileged do you have to be where, hey, I'm making $100,000 a year more to reproduce the same shit we had last year, and I deserve it. How do you, if I want Elon Musk to buy them next and fire those fucking 3,000 people. I really do.
I don't want Elon Musk a part of anything, to be honest. I don't want to talk about that. He's just, oh god, he's terrible. All right.
Oh, it can't be any worse.
Oh,
back to the beginning. Let's step back. I'll pull you guys up. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they don't deserve Game of the Year.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you for tangenting back into.
Now, do you believe Splatoon does though?
Yes.
Let's finish that.
From what I own a Switch, and I don't own that game specifically. I did play Splatoon 2 pretty religiously when it first came out, though, so I have some experience with the franchise. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And if it's anything like the second one, which I assume it is, with quite a few new changes, additions, quality of life changes, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty damn good, because the second one was top notch. Like, it was that seal of quality, that old school. I don't know if you guys remember. Kollin probably is too young for this.
Seal of equality.
Yes, I was gonna say I don't know if Kollin remembers.
It's a badge on Nintendo approved games. Is the Nintendo seal of approval.
Dude,
which Splatoon has.
I used to go by that religiously when I was a child. So I used to be like, oh, does this game have the seal of approval? It does. I'm buying this.
Yeah.
So which means that it made it through Nintendo's rigorous challenges to get published.
Yes.
Which means it probably has a decent story, and I'm pretty sure all of them are kind of connected. Right. Which means people wanted the third one. It's gonna have good mechanics because it's probably based on the other ones, which people liked. And it looks, from what I've seen, it looks pretty damn good.
It does.
It's stylized and
it looks smooth, great. I haven't heard any complaints about visual fidelity issues or frame skips. Like, it runs at 30 FPS on the Switch, which is fine. Like, I mean, you're playing it on a handheld usually anyway, so I think it looks great. I think it totally deserves best multiplayer game.
And I just want to say, for anybody listening, we're talking about Nintendo games here. We're not talking about Game Freak. We're not talking about Pokemon. It was so poorly made.
That is a very bad misconception. People always think Pokemon is hand in hand with Nintendo.
They do, and because this is another debate, which will happen, is why wasn't Pokemon nominated, even though they're fucking terrible.
There's a reason why Nintendo had to stop putting that seal on things when they brought in games. They could no longer put it on there anymore.
Damn. Game Freak's gonna need some ointment for that burn. Jeez. So just to go back to what you were saying, Carnage. Yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus, one of the newest Pokemon game, was actually nominated as best role playing game, and Elden Ring won the category. So, but yes.
Well, yeah.
No, I know. I just want to put that to rest that it's Game Freak that made those errors, not Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
Nintendo has, last call said, a vigorous process.
Yes.
And this game would not have even made it to that's level 1. So
yeah. I just want to say that looking at the things that Google is showing me for the runners-up, Splatoon 3, COD, Modern Warfare 2, the Teenager Shredders, Multiverses, and Overwatch. Yeah, it's a no-brainer and no explanation.
If we take Splatoon off the board here, and COD is not nowhere to be found. Who would you nominate? Ninja Turtles or would you say Overwatch?
Because I've
Overwatch 2,
Overwatch, because Multiverses. No,
dude, Overwatch 2 isn't even. I'm gonna go on a rant because Overwatch 2, dude. Oh my god, that game is terrible. They had to
no, please do. Just do a quick version of your rant here.
They had to remove. I have to move back from my mic so I don't scream into it. They had to remove 3 characters within the first month of its release. They literally had to remove characters because people were finding glitches that were allowing them to use unlimited ultimates, like be literally invulnerable. Like, what is this? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, it's literally they've had how many years? Like 5, 6 since Overwatch 1's release to perfect this game. And they were supposed to release all of this awesome stuff, like all of these new characters right off the bat, all of these new maps. None of that. Look, they had the same characters. They added 1 new character. They added like maybe 1 map. I haven't seen it because every time I freaking play, I get the same map from Overwatch 1 from 6 years ago. And they haven't even released the freaking the PvE content they promised. Where is it? You've had 6 years, 6 fucking years.
I'm going to say that Overwatch should have pulled a TF2 and a Fortnite and stayed the same game and done a chapter release.
I am so irritated.
Where they ended the story and brought in new characters and said, retconning, we're taking these characters away because they died or something and they could not be here, and fixed everything else and just stayed with the same game. Because from what I've seen, the games look the same. I'm sorry, there is no visual difference.
They are identical.
They're literally identical. The same.
Well, hold on, they have ray tracing now.
Shut up.
Minecraft has ray tracing now. I don't want to hear that.
Hey, my bathroom lights have ray tracing. You don't see me gloating about it.
Look, ray tracing is not a stamp of a good game. It is just saying that a game utilizes new things.
But so the reason I went down this rabbit hole is that, with the uproar with Splatoon being the winner, here's your other choices. This is like the presidential election for the last 16 years. What other option do we have?
I hate it so much.
So you have, what other game should have been in the top 4 along with Splatoon?
I don't know.
Except for Warzone, Overwatch, and what other one I forget about?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah, Shredder's Revenge.
Speaking of which,
I watched you play.
I just wanted to make a small comment. If to any listeners out there looking for a really good game to play with your teenage son, your adolescent son. I have a 6-year-old.
Your Teenage Mutant Ninja
your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that you have at home, the one that leaves his underwear all over the floor. I have a 6-year-old boy, and I played that game with him. It's up to like 8 players, I believe. I played with 4. That game is fun as hell. Yeah, you can have up to 8. You can have all 4 turtles. You can have what's her face, the news reporter girl, and then you have Casey Jones, like the hockey stick man. You can have 2 others. Like, it's crazy, dude. That game is so simplistic, but it's perfection. It is arcade perfection. I love it. Totally worth the money. I give it a thumbs up. Anyone out there listening, if you're looking for a good arcade game that has good multiplayer, I would suggest you buy it immediately. It's totally worth the price. Yeah. So
anyway,
but yes,
back to this topic at hand.
I just want to know what games do you think should have deserved the spotlight or the nomination opportunity. And I know I myself want to say Grounded, but they technically weren't released
Yeah.
until much later on.
Right.
But
then you got to worry about the whole early access thing. Like, do you consider that time period as part of it? Like,
I mean, Modern Warfare 2 and Overwatch are both still early access bullshit. So, I just want just a quick version. What game should have replaced these guys? In your opinion,
can we go out of the year, because I can't think of anything.
I can give you as early as November of last year, because my argument.
Do you have a list in front of you?
No. I just, who do you think deserved the spotlight, the nomination?
See, that's the thing. This is it. Listen, if Multiverses is among the top of this, that means there was no multiplayer games released this year. I mean, I'm sorry.
Do you consider multiplayer and co-op to be the same thing? Because Dying Light 2 Stay Human came out, and that was technically multiplayer co-op. Like,
I consider multiplayer either a game where you play with more than like 2 people. 2 to 4 people is like, after that, I think it becomes a multiplayer game. But I don't consider games like Lego games to be multiplayer games.
Okay.
Well, I don't consider them to be. That's not the main part of them. Okay. These games, I'm assuming when it says multiplayer, it's games where it's
intended to be played with multiple people.
Multiple people, not games you can play single player.
Yeah, and I mean,
stuff like that.
I do have the list in front of me of all the games released this year, and unfortunately, that's where our list lies, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I would say Dying Light 2 deserves it, because I think it's considered multiplayer, but...
Yeah, Dying Light 2, if we're talking about expansions, then, there is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla that had the Ragnarok DLC released this year, which I believe, I think they have a chance. Then Monster Hunter Rise was released.
If we're talking about games with updates, I'm going to nominate TF2.
Yeah.
I'm having a stroke over here, man.
I knew what you were going to say before you even fucking started talking.
Oh my god. I will not be surprised if you elope to marry TF2 when you turn 18, my guy, because boy.
Look, I say it I just say it, one, because consistency. I do like TF2, and look, I'm bringing it up because I want it to get more updates. I want it to be more mainstream. Because look, we had the whole Save TF2 movement, and it brought the bot usage way down, because Valve actually threw us a bone and kind of updated stuff. But actually finish what you started.
I get what I see what you're saying. I get it.
Well, okay. Well, I guess my questionnaire is really invalid because, truth be told, there really isn't any other option.
Not really. No, I mean, other than maybe that Batman game, the one with the four players. I guess that there Gotham Knights, I believe is what it's called.
But the fact that it's not on the tip of your tongue just tells a lot, right?
I've heard bad things. I've heard really bad things.
Me too, and I think. I guess Splatoon 3 is the big winner, rightfully so, based on its competition.
I just don't want to. I just hate having to say that. Good for them. Good for them for releasing a game that works, has no issues. I haven't heard any issues about it whatsoever, which is great. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to sound like an asshole. But should we be praising games that release good, that release in a good state? We shouldn't be doing that as
Yes, we should.
I should reword it. I should reword it.
Here's my reasoning why.
Go ahead.
If your dog does good actions, you give it treats so it repeats those actions.
Positive reinforcement.
So if we tell the game industry that this is what we want, they might listen. It won't happen, but they might.
Yeah, but then you get the dogs that take advantage and they do good things without you ask them to get the treat, and they take advantage of you. And that's what COD has been doing. We gave them too many treats.
Right. Or you get or you get the game studios that intentionally act bad and then act sorry when they get caught and then say, "Oh, we're sorry, we didn't mean to," you know.
And I mean there are
started doing sorry apology videos.
there are Activision employees who are on TikTok posting their daily work life of them not caring. Yeah, I just have to do this. Oh, we know there's hackers. We know they don't do shit. They don't care. They're not threatening, about losing their job or nothing.
Right.
They didn't deserve to win. Bottom line, after this long segment,
you're saying Call of Duty. Yeah.
Call of Duty did not deserve to win. Great on Splatoon.
Good for them.
But good on them, and great for that to be recognized.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But with the disappointment of both Overwatch and Modern Warfare, yeah, I think they need to be
praise
sitting in a room pouting. Yeah.
Good job, Nintendo. Yeah. Good job, Nintendo.
Yeah. In theory, for Game of the Year, Modern Warfare should have been coming out guns blazing, without a doubt, taking that title too. They should have been right there.
I mean,
they failed to.
They had the opportunity. They could have.
That just shows how many problems there is. That's
my point. That's my point. The fact that they weren't even in the running, and they were the most hyped, anticipated game of the year, and nothing to show
especially
for it.
after Battlefield 2042's crash and
burn. Exactly. Your competition shot themselves in the foot.
This year, wasn't it?
Was that? Yeah. No. Battlefield 2042 was November last year. November?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did say November last year. So that could be in the running. So you know what?
But again, they could have been Game of the Year too, and they fucking shot themselves. Modern Warfare had a prime opportunity to step above.
No competition, none. No, there's no AAA, and it's only Battlefield, EA, and Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty. That's it. Those are the top two tiered. There's some minor ones underneath it, like Bungie could be considered like top tier, I guess, but I would consider them more of like a AA than a AAA.
No, well they're in their own thing. And I don't even want to get into Halo right now, but they all shot themselves in the foot, and now that I'm ranting, it almost seems deliberate. So I'm curious to see what comes of it.
Right?
They're trying.
Battlefield's making a slow comeback and great changes. If COD does the same, there's definitely something at work here.
Right.
There's definitely so.
All right,
get out of conspiracy. Let's change the subject before I
ramble on about Battlefield.
Lose my voice. No, about Halo.
Oh,
I said So
I just want to say Halo sucks. Halo's really bad.
I agree. I'm sorry.
And not to say, and not, to our listeners, clarification. I grew up with Halo. I fucking love Halo. I love Red vs. Blue. I grew up with it. I watched every episode. I grew up with Halo 1 and 2. Halo 3 was meh. But it just, for me, I just want to clarify
after
because
Guardians, Halo
Guardians
5,
was
Guardians
so good.
Well, that was the previous game to Infinite. They shot themselves in the foot, and then they executed themselves with the goddamn.
Yes. I still think ODST is the best Halo, and I don't care what anyone says. I loved ODST.
Well, that's not Halo. That's ODST. That's
not considered Halo. No.
Well, it is Halo. It is the world of Halo.
Right.
But that's through the eyes of the mortals, right?
Right.
So
I just want to clarify for the listeners that I'm not Halo anti. I'm not anti-Halo. I love Halo.
In my opinion, because of Halo Infinite and the stupid series that they signed off for, they're bringing it. Their RTS game that was terrible and arguably the worst game ever.
Halo Wars
is now second to none. They are, in my mind, they're AAA title now because of the fucking bullshit they've released and signed off for.
That's amazing.
I guess I ranted anyhow.
No, I didn't want to get. I just didn't want to get into it. I wanted to clarify that I just, I don't hate Halo. I grew up with it. I love it. I have nostalgia for it. I just do not like the direction they're going with it.
Halo has created all of us gamers. It has impacted all of us in our the generation of Cyber and I,
millennials.
Yes. I hate calling myself that.
I know, I do too.
Yes, Halo established us as gamers.
Definitely, yeah. I think it definitely created who I am as a person, for sure. Yeah.
So,
and my deathly afraidness, my deathly fear of giant pulsating yellow bugs.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where we're seeing the death of games and YouTubers and series and stuff like that, where it's been going on so long it needs to end.
Could you give us an example? What are you referring to specifically?
Well, I'm saying that it's been going on so long and it's not been getting the love and attention it should. So
right,
is it time to just end it with like a final bang, or just?
I'm sorry, I tuned into what you're saying. I think too late, or when we were talking over each other.
I think he's trying to.
What are you referring to?
I think he's saying that like the series we grew up with, the nostalgia is dying because the series are dying themselves.
It is. We're holding on to what we grew up with, and they're trying to reinvent themselves.
Like
I understand.
Diablo is a good example of that too.
Yeah.
Like,
I understand that, but it doesn't work, man. It just, and you know what? I actually understand about teaching old dogs new tricks now, but it's. You got to call it something else then, like Halo, something to do Halo, or Halo. I don't fucking know. Take Halo out of your name for all I care.
I don't fucking know. Now it's just Preparation H.
The new next gen Halo. Call it that.
Call it Preparation H.
Take retire Master Chief, or give him an excellent walking of goodbye, and start somewhere else. Stop trying to keep him going, because you're gonna piss off the hundreds of thousands of us who know his actual story.
Right.
But what I watch with it, what I think of it, it's a dual-edged sword. Yeah, you would do that, but think about the backlash from the people who don't want it. Take the example of Pokemon. When they tried to take out Ash as the main character, no one liked it.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. In the true series of Halo, Master Chief is the last Spartan. Mm-hmm. Spartan program has been shut down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with Halo Infinite, with Halo Guardians, they I remember they shot themselves there because the Spartan program was brought back up by Halsey. They could easily make like a child of the Chief one way or another clone, just like Halsey is in Cortana is a clone. Clone a new Chief and call it something else. Yeah. Like his what's the word I'm looking for? His Preceder? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Somebody who takes over your position.
Gotcha.
Just make a next gen. You're trying to carry a story, and Master Chief does age slowly, but he does. Like, he should be dead, cryogenic or not. He should be dead in the years they're talking about. So,
you know what? Let him die. Maybe burn him in a fire once. Bring him back, and then have him upload himself as code, and then bring him back.
Okay. No, I don't like that.
I just wanted to clarify from earlier. I made a mistake when I said you said Halo Guardians. I misspoke. I didn't mean that one was one of my favorites. I misspoke. I meant to say Halo Reach and ODST were my favorites. So
yeah, I understood.
I for some reason the subtitle at the end of the damn title messes me up. So
Halo Guardians, I was okay with the new quote unquote Spartans coming in.
Right.
That I understand. It's all part of warfare. It was non-true Spartans being your enemy Spartans, but they tapped into a story, to a lore, that if you read the books is so enticing with the ancients.
I've heard the books are very good.
And they stepped away from them. They did it with Guardians. I was so excited. And then they stepped off it and went to Infinite. I was so pissed off.
Gotcha. Yeah, they were. Oh. All right, let's stop. All right. So just the last thing about the Game Awards, I just wanted to say congratulations to Square Enix for winning Best Ongoing Game for Final Fantasy XIV. They deserve it. They did a damn good job on that MMO. Killing it off when it first came out back in 2012. I think it was. It's old now, but they killed it off for after a year after it was released because it was terrible. And then they brought it back 1 or 2 years later, and it became what we now knows as Final Fantasy XIV. And they've been supporting it well for years now. Yeah. So, good for them. Good for them. They deserve Best Ongoing Game. I'm proud of them. I'm glad they beat Fortnite. Fuck you, Fortnite. But yeah, I'm proud of them. That's awesome. Good for them. They committed and they kept up with it. And I've only heard good things. I played the first DLC all the way through. And I haven't touched any of the ones after that, but I've heard good things, so good for them. All right, I'm going to move on to this next article, and then we can move on to reviews and discussion about games we're currently playing. This is in relation to Call of Duty. I feel like our listeners are just going to be like, this is literally just a Call of Duty and Halo podcast at this point. But
well,
so
if they fix their shit, we wouldn't be talking about it.
So I wanted to kind of like talk / rant about this a little bit because it kind of irritated me. So Warzone 2 released a skin that was literally just like an all black leather skin, like literally no reflective material on it whatsoever. And the reason I'm upset about this is because they've done this already. They went through this rigmarole with a similar skin that came out in Warzone 1, and they know, unless the teams aren't communicating with each other from Warzone 1 to the people on Warzone 2, I don't know how that would happen because they're all under the same roof, I would assume.
You know what? Maybe that's what happened with Warzone 2. They fired the old team, brought in a new team, and that's why
they had to have because they're doing things in Warzone 2 that have been already established and or fixed in Warzone 1. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, as an example, like I said, the skin that was released, it was a pay-to-win skin where you bought it and you could literally just hide in corners, like dark corners, and no one would see you. You'd just be sitting there like a ninja. And then I guess this article from PC Gamer says Activision is going to nerf the chart-topping Call of Duty skin by making it more visible, with some players seeking refunds for their purchase. Screw you for buying it in the first place with the intention of knowing it was overpowered. Screw you. You don't get a refund. But no, like it should have never been released in that state to begin with, and that's why I'm so upset. Like they knew that this happened before. They don't learn, dude. They don't.
Yeah, well, he's talking about the rose skin first of all. For anybody who didn't, I'm sure everybody put that together.
Yes.
And we're not talking about the rose skin with the headgear on. No, we're talking about the base blacked out rose skin that everybody used.
So I want to know, Jamin, are you mad about them bringing back an old controversy and bringing back something bad? Or are you just mad about the skin?
I'm mad. I'm mad that they're not learning from their mistakes. I'm mad because they are adults. They are an industry of adults, and yet they don't care. I'm almost guarantee.
I think they took what the problem was and turned it into a marketable avenue.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yes. And fixed
it later.
They brought a problem. The only they could fix it.
Yes, and
I was their money out of it.
I was going to say this is a known tactic among like microtransaction filled shooters. They release something quote unquote overpowered, quote unquote pay to win, and then they nerf it later, like almost immediately afterwards, or they let it go for a month, and then they say, "Oops, we're sorry," and then they nerf it because the people who bought it have already bought it, and the people who will buy it after will have already diminished. They already made their money's worth. They already got the whales hooked, line, and sinker. So yes, I agree. That's probably what happened, but I hate it. So it irritates me to no end, man. It's like stop. You can't keep getting away with this.
And they will, because ultimately it's you as the buyer who's agreeing to the terms and conditions to pay for it.
The old vote with your
even
wallet.
Once they fix it, they're still gonna have people who are still losing to these characters, and they're gonna turn around and they're gonna spend their allowance on it.
Yep.
And buy it. It's not gonna give them the same appeal. It's gonna happen.
Exactly.
And really, even though it sucks for us on the PC to play against these skins, it's the people on the consoles. Because they don't have the luxury of just turning up their monitors, gamma on top of the game gamma to see these characters. They don't have that luxury.
No, you're right.
So they're the ones really getting hurt. But unfortunately, it is what it is. They don't have any legal obligation not to do this.
No, you're right.
So
like there's no overbearing body that's gonna come after them, like political body of any sort.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
people are still going to pay for it knowingly, even though we're telling them, hey, this is 100%, a marketing scheme. People are still going to pay for it and take the acceptable cheats to the game, take advantage of it. So
right. No, yeah, completely agreed. All right, let's tangent off into the games we're currently playing. I guess I'll start. Me and Carnage have played 2 games that we've never played before together. I guess we'll start with Warhammer 40K Darktide. We only played the tutorial, the prologue, and then we played one full match through. So our opinions as of right now aren't set in stone. So anyone listening, don't be But
to give you a first impression, I was underwhelmed and a little overwhelmed. Underwhelmed by the UI and the graphics are just ancient.
They do look very.
And I know, when you look at your health bar and you see your character's icon at the bottom, it's like, am I playing
a PS2
Diablo
game.
2? Like, it's so rigid, it's so poor. Like, but why? Why is that there?
It's what was I gonna say? Primitive. It looks primitive for sure.
Very.
Yeah.
But once we get into it, the lore is terrible and too much. I know you're gonna get into that, so I'll leave you to. But the gameplay was cool, and I like the sense of it's easy, but it's over. But the hordes are in huge numbers, but they're easy to kill.
Yes.
But I like that such dominance of taking them out.
Well,
easily.
We just started, so I'm assuming it's going to get harder if you keep playing.
It will, but right off the hop, you're dealing with a lot of enemies, so it's not. Even though you can get the game's timing as to when hordes get released and you got to fight them, it's still a large quantity. So if you're not in a party, it's going to be a little tricky for you. So
I agree.
I was impressed in that route, but it's primitive overall, in my opinion.
I'm extremely underwhelmed by it. I think the only good thing it has going for it is the two things. The character diversity is pretty cool. The fact that you have 4 separate characters with 4 separate sets of abilities and like specials, that's kind of cool. Each with their own like unique way of going about combat is very neat. The other thing I think has really good going for it is the main thing that I guess you would want to play it for is it's gunplay. Gunplay feels really good. Like the aiming feels good. It's snappy. I didn't really have any visual issues while shooting, while killing enemies. All of that felt really good. The melee felt good. The shooting felt good. The combat felt good. And the abilities felt good. But my main issue with it is it's a bit much. It's a bit much all at once. They kind of just toss you in to this like what was it, Carnage? Like a 10-minute long cutscene or something? Like it was like 8 or 10 minutes.
I was gonna wait to see if you approached it before you even get to the 10-minute cutscene. You have about half an hour of creating your character's fucking story. Lore story. Which
yes. Yeah, you have to go through.
No idea what you're doing.
You have to go through like 10 pages. I think it's like 10 pages of just like paragraphs upon paragraphs of like, this is where you start. You start in the city of necrophilia, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
It's overwhelming, and I guess if you've played the previous games, you'd understand the lore, but it wasn't very intuitive for me to.
It wasn't new
to grasp.
It wasn't very new person coming in friendly.
I was frustrated. I was very frustrated before even getting to the game.
The only reason I even committed to going through was because I knew Carnage was also going through it, and I didn't want to just be like, Carnage, I don't feel like doing this, and then just leaving him hanging like that. So I was like, you know what? Let's go through this. Let's just tap my left mouse button as fast as I can, go through this as quick as possible, because like at first I love lore. I love lore like in a lot of video games. Like as Carnage, like we play we're going to get into it in a little bit here, but like we're playing Fallout 76 together. He's just skipping all the dialogue. I'm sitting there listening like, "Oh, wow, that's really cool. Oh, that's what happened. That's really neat." Like I love lore. I love the reason why you're here. I love lore. I love learning the reason why this NPC is here, why they're having issues, why they're having you help them. I love that stuff. This game, Darktide, Warhammer 40k Darktide, is just so. It's got this established universe of like junk, and it's so filled with junk that I don't care. Like it's like pages and pages and pages of just like ramblings, like when you watch Star Trek. Like, if you watch Star Trek and like you've never watched a Star Trek before or any kind of sci-fi TV show, and you just start hearing, like, what do they call it? Like, psychobabble or whatever. Or they call it technobabble, where they're like, oh, Captain, we're 40,000 clicks away from blah, blah, blah. And they start rambling off, like, made-up words, like, oh, we're going to warp 10, blah, blah, blah. If you never watched anything sci-fi before, that would be overwhelming to you. That would be like, wait, what did they just say? They called it a what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be a bit much for you. Because you weren't eased into it. You weren't, there was no explanation there. There was no reason. If someone just tossed you episode 100 of a, season 10 of a show, and you're like, what? That's basically what this game is doing. They're tossing you in like 10 seasons in with no explanation. Like, they try their damnedest to explain to you what you're doing, why this planet is the way it is. It's so much. It's so and honestly, it doesn't make a lick of sense to me because it's just
It
like
doesn't.
and like
You,
like 60% of the words they use make no freaking sense because they're just made up. Like I literally was reading it like as the cutscene was happening, I was in the call with Carnage in Discord. And I was like, they just made up a word that they could have just used another word that sounded just like it without adding the extra like ing at the end of it. They made up a word by putting ing at a word that was already
yeah,
like appendages or something. They said like appendagine, and I'm like, why? Why not just use the word appendage? What are you talking about?
it's it's terrible. You spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes creating your own character lore,
Ugh.
only to be thrown into a long ass cutscene that tells you a different story of how everything came together.
Yes.
Completely different.
Yes.
So everything you've just done has absolutely, almost zero play on the story.
From what we can tell so far, I don't know if there's like a point at which later in the mission story, like in the mission what's the word I'm looking for? That like mission guidelines, like you go from mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, that sort of thing. I don't know if like mission 7 is gonna be like, oh, this is where we kick in the actual lore of your backstory. Like, oh, this city is where you grew up. Your parents are dead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, are they gonna kick it in halfway
maybe.
through the game? I don't know.
Maybe it seems pretty instant based, but I don't know. I guess we have to get a couple more hours in to get an honest review.
My first impressions are lackluster. I right now I'm like I don't want to recommend it to people because unless you're a Warhammer fan like diehard,
well, yeah, I mean, but try it yourself. If you're on Xbox or have Game Pass, it's free. Have a crack at it, but don't buy it. Don't buy the game.
I would definitely. Just so you guys know, listeners, the game is free on Game Pass as of right now for PC Game Pass only.
PC.
We tried to access it through the Xbox Game Pass store, and it is not on there. So anyone listening, don't be disappointed if you can't find it on there. I told you so. So, yeah. So yeah, the game is overwhelming, lackluster, and I guess we'll give it some more time before next podcast.
Well, I will. I mean, I've spent, it's holding up about 60 gigs on my fucking hard drive, so I am gonna try it one more time.
Right.
And just so you know, I love lore games, like we were talking about Elden Ring, and I like lore. I'll pay attention to lore if it has anything to do with my storyline.
Right.
Fallout, as much as it does, it's too easy to get a gist of what they're trying to tell you. It's so easy. So yeah,
it's been sorry, I was gonna say it's rated E for everyone. Obviously it's like I understand what you're saying.
I understand, but it's too easy to grasp. It's like yeah, I know what you're trying to tell me. You don't need to elaborate your goddamn sentences and facial expressions for me to get it. So,
you don't want them to
move it into
facial expressions.
Go ahead, Kollin, say that one more time.
No, never mind. Dumb joke.
No. What'd you say? You haven't talked at all for a while.
Yeah, we've been cutting you off.
Y'all are just ranting about the game I don't play.
Sorry.
I'm like neat.
How do you feel about lore, Kollin? When you play a game, are you totally into a game that gives you like mountains of lore?
I'm into passive. I'm okay with lore. Like I'll deal with it.
Okay.
But I do like more passive lore.
So like Elden Ring, where they like give you items.
No.
Elden Ring's not passive.
I consider it passive.
I'm talking about Lego games where it's the cutscene before tells you basically what you need to know, and there's audio dialogue while you're playing the game. So it's just subconsciously fed to you, so you kind of understand what you're doing.
Right.
Or like Portal, where it's just like voice lines. You get it. The lore is being told to you through voice lines or secret
through a narration, right?
Yeah, so I like lore. I like understanding the lore. I don't like finding the lore.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know. I like
a whole other area.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
It's whole different. I like secret lore. I really do, but I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say.
I want like all the secret lore. That's why I watch all those like what you missed videos. I'm not gonna go find it. I never.
Oh man, I played a very easy game to do, Star Wars: The Fallen Jedi. Okay, and it's I've already played it before. I played it again, but it's still I am finding every little thing, because I'm such a Star Wars fan.
Right.
I want to hear the backstories. What did they put in here? And I've spent so much time trying to get it, and I've barely done the main campaigns. My PC just shut off. What's going on?
Oh,
Carry on. My PC's doing something.
oh,
Okay, I'm back.
All
I'm
right.
back.
Well,
I
let's
think it was about to time out. Ooh, that was close.
let's transition into our other game that we're playing real quick because we're running a little low on time here. We're at 54 minutes. Me and you have been playing Fallout 76 for a little bit. We played for like several hours last night into early morning. I'm gonna start off by saying I was wholly against playing this game about a year and a half. I think it's like 2 years old now, 2 or 3. I was wholly against playing this game when it first came out, and pretty much up until just recently, because I refuse to support a game that is wholly filled with microtransactions that are basically pay to win, and that I don't want to get into too much of the details, but apparently when it first came out for like the first year and a half, there was like pay to win, like, oh, you could buy this thing that you can't get in game, like a recipe for a refrigerator that'll help you save your food, but there was no way to store your food in any kind of other device that was similar to that. You had to buy it. I was against that. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't even be a thing. But apparently they fixed that. They've alleviated that. From what I can tell, they don't. I already went through the entire store. They don't have a refrigerator blueprint anymore, though, as far as I can tell.
No, they didn't take it all. You can still buy an entire base build,
right?
And plant it on your property.
That's cosmetic. You can build your own base in game.
You can. So it's not 100% pay to win, but it's pay to be better.
No, pay to look better.
Yeah.
My base is better than yours.
and in my experience with the game, I was just getting frustrated. I think it was a bad time for me to play a new game. Was the build mechanics are a little terrible. And I needed Cyber to come over and help me install a goddamn door last night. Okay, this was.
I'm going to suggest this. I think Fallout needs to take the tactic of Sims building, where you literally are just this, you go into this huge overarching third-person perspective.
Well,
in just a building things.
So in this one, in Fallout 76, I don't know if it's always been this way or not, but they have a button, like on PC. By the way, we're playing it on Game Pass. It's completely free on Game Pass. I would suggest anyone to give it a try if you're willing. If you have a friend to play with, give it a try. If you press V on the keyboard, you can go into like a free cam mode, and you can basically go through walls and stuff, and you can place stuff freely, and you can go up and down. You can do
God's sake.
You can do like a space view. It's great. It's great.
To me, that's
Are you
still a
fucking
problem.
kidding me?
To me, that's still a problem. Like, I just don't like that type of building. I like grid building.
Okay.
I'm okay with the ability to like do non-grid stuff, but I like the snapping in of like.
Well, this one has snapping. This one has snapping. The walls snap together, but those are there's only certain things that are snappable, like walls, doors, doorways, windows, like those. But like everything else, like freestanding items, like your workbench, your furniture, none of those are snapping. You have to physically rotate it.
The building mechanics is like a 5% of the game's actual purpose, so they're not gonna give you too many details or put too much effort into that coding. So I can understand why it's lower end, but if you're gonna introduce this mechanic, give it some thought. Like it's so rustic.
I want to know something though. I just want to know something. If they weren't going to put the effort in coding a good house builder, where'd they put the effort for coding?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that because I was gonna say because they didn't have NPCs in the game up until like I want to say a year ago. So
that's what I mean. Like, where was the effort put in?
There was none.
Exactly.
Actually, the lore. They probably put most of it into the lore. All of their effort.
All I gotta say is, for anyone who understands this reference, 16 times the detail. 16. I don't know if you guys get that reference.
I have no idea.
Todd Howard.
I was assuming it was
Todd Howard from Bethesda several years ago. Before the release of Fallout 76, he said, they were showing it at one of their like, what do they call it? Yeah, like they're press shows. Like they have those like press shows every few years where they're like, oh, these are our upcoming games. Here's some clips, and I showed a clip of a new Fallout game, but they didn't call it Fallout 76 at the time, and everyone thought it was going to be Fallout 5. And everyone was freaking out, and he was like 16 times the detail, and then Fallout 76 came out, and everyone was like, you lying son of a bitch.
Yeah. To give a quick review, we haven't played it long enough for me to like or dislike the lore.
Initial impressions.
The game mechanics are great. I like it. It's fun to shoot, easy to shoot. You know, you got your basic pinwheels. It does give me a lot of DayZ vibes.
I think it gives
with missions.
It gives me Rust. I feel like Rust. Like it feels
well,
like,
I guess, Rust. Say
survival
overall,
game, right?
It's the survival, but it's got lore to it, which is nice. Yeah, that's my first off opinion. We haven't ventured off too far to know what the PvP's like, or or these mutants. So
I wish the instance story missions were a little bit better. They seem a little janky. We had an issue where we tried to you and my brother all tried to go into a building together to do a quote unquote story mission, and you got separated from me and my brother for some odd reason because the game didn't explain why or how. So you were in your own instance of that room of that story, and me and Josh were in our own, and I was like, what is happening?
I think it gave me the option for you guys to join me. I think my either backstory or my timeline is different and go in a different direction.
Okay.
At the beginning, I think that's what it was about.
Gotcha.
My character immediately went to, shooting the guy in the tavern. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it gets better as it goes.
I do too. My initial impressions are I'd recommend it if you have somebody to play with. I feel like I'd be extremely bored if I wasn't having fun with my brother / best friend, running around killing shit while I just sit there looting everything. Because I consider Carnage here, Dave, and my brother Josh as like the hired mercenaries that are protecting me as the mule.
Yeah.
I'm the mule. I just go through and pick up everything.
And it seems, now that I think about it, I think the AIs or the NPCs, I think they level with your level.
It does seem that way.
So no matter what, it's always going to be you're never going to overpower.
I think that's kind of how that works, possibly, but from what I've heard, it's not that, it's distance from home.
I think it's a bubble around our characters. I think
okay.
So it's like from where you start in the game, you'll have bosses you'll have things that fight you that are level 1 to meet your level 1, but the more resources, the more story you need, the further you go out, the harder things are.
I don't think that's true. I think Carnage is partially correct because we are still near basically where we started, Vault 76, and all of the creatures are leveling up with this. As soon as I reached level 5, I was level 4 fighting level 4 feral ghouls in one location, and then literally I leveled up after killing another feral ghoul. Another one came in, and that one was now level 5. They immediately leveled up when I leveled up. So I think Carnage is partially correct.
Yeah, unless it's just those ads that level up with you.
I'm not sure. I think it's distant.
Collin's probably right. If we were to go to the edge of the map right now, they would probably be whatever level 100.
We don't know. We don't know if it's I don't know, because I know there's in-game events, and I don't know if the events are based on whoever the highest level person is within that area of influence. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it's great. I'd recommend it as of right now. It's a little janky, obviously, because they're still running it on Skyrim's engine, so because they haven't updated that engine in years.
For anyone who gets this reference, it just works.
Nice. Very good. All right. Kollin, before we go on to the trivia section, did you have any games that you're currently playing or want to talk about?
Yeah, you've been a little quiet today, so what
or if not any games you've been playing, how about anything you're looking forward to? That would be good too.
Well, from what I'm looking forward to the new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game.
You own a Switch?
Yeah, I own a Switch.
I didn't know you owned a Switch. Okay, that's news to me. Huh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I own a Switch.
Have you played through all of the first one?
Yes, I have played that game religiously.
Okay.
I've gotten all of the things.
All of the things.
Not all the things. I'm not that much into it, but I have played it multiple times just screwing around.
Gotcha. I think one of my favorite things about that game is that it's so well put together in terms of just maneuverability between objects, and that it's physics based, that even after I think that game's been out for 8 years now, 7 years.
I think it launched with it, so whenever the Switch came out.
So almost, I think it's 10 years, or it feels like 10 years.
No.
It feels like 10 years.
No, I'm pretty sure 5 at max.
Okay, I was
saying, the guy that does a yearly review of
2007. It's 2017, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say 2007.
17.
I was about to die. I felt really old there for a second. I was gonna say, just like so 5 years. So after 5 years after that game released, people are still finding like tricks and tips and stuff that you could do that no one knew you could do, like shortcuts for the dungeons and the puzzles. Like that game is so cool
for a Switch game. A Switch game,
yes,
they're so in depth. Like, oh, fuck you.
That is the makings of a good game. When you have people finding secrets within your game and tips and tricks of your game to make it like speed run faster. That's
just bringing it back. Hadn't Nintendo not partnered with Game Freak, the seal of approval would still be on that game.
Stop it! He's already dead.
I mean, it just brings back to the point that Nintendo they have a rigorous approval process. And,
they do.
You know, it's. Well, I'm. So you're looking forward to Breath of the Wild,
or Tears of the Goddess or something?
No, Tears of the Kingdom, and it's such a bad name when that title released because it was sadly around the passing of the Queen.
Oh,
and it was named Tears of the Kingdom.
Were people legitimately upset about that though? Like,
I don't know, and I don't think so. But
I'm sure there's a handful that speculated, but
they'll get over it.
It's
just a video game. That's so ridiculous.
I didn't know you play Switch, man. There's a lot more stuff we could have been talking to you about.
Yeah, seriously.
But, I play every console.
Oh, you have a PlayStation 5
and you play no games. I don't understand.
I don't play new games. I have like games that have been released a while ago, and I'm playing them.
I mean, we can talk about those at any point if you want. I mean, you're free to speak up, my guy. We're not trying to.
Horizon.
We're 3/3, man.
3/3.
Horizon Forbidden West was dope. Far Cry 6 was also really dope.
Really, you liked Far Cry 6? I couldn't get into it.
I loved Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6, Far Cry 5 were pretty dope.
I love Far Cry 5.
New Dawn was
Oh, is that the second? That was the sequel to.
That's the sequel to 5. Meh. Yeah.
Oh, to Far Cry 5? Oh, right. Yeah. The one with the girls and the pink, right?
Yeah. It mid, but I loved Far Cry 5 and 6. Far Cry 5 more than 6, but 6 pretty damn.
The villain in Far Cry 5 was chef's kiss. It was perfection. The acting, the mocap, everything was so good, so good.
Detroit Become Human's pretty good. I play lots of older games, just not like
that's
recent ones.
That's fine.
We don't. You don't have the headaches like Cyber and I have. So
yeah, right.
Good on you.
All right, so I think that's enough for that conversation, guys. Let's move on to the last section of our podcast here. We're gonna do a little game like we always do. This time, I'm gonna be playing some music clips, and I need you guys to tell me what game they're from. And so same rules as always. You're gonna say the word buzz, and we're going to, stop the music, and we're gonna take your answers. Okay.
All right.
So and some of these have bonus points if you can tell what the actual game is from. There's only like a couple of them, and I'll let you know beforehand if there is bonus points on those. So. All right, let me just set up a chart here with our point system. All right, and we're ready. Are you guys ready? This is the first one. Here goes.
Buzz.
Oh.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is when you're waking up in the shrine.
Okay, whoa.
Oh my god.
Damn, Carnage, you are screwed, my guy.
Yeah, not only did he fucking body slam me to the ground, he fucking kicked me in the jaw, teabagged me. God damn.
Damn.
Look, we just talked about how I religiously played that game.
He is right.
You got it in my head. You cracked my nerves for the rest of this.
I hope there's at least a couple that you can get. I apologize if there isn't. I'm so sorry.
That's the only one I'm going to get that detailed because I just remember that song being played.
We'll see. Flexing. We'll see. Josh, are you still in the chat with us?
Yeah.
All right. If you have any idea of what these are, you could scream out buzz as well. Okay. I do believe there's a couple in here that you will know by heart. All right.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Nope. Buzz.
Oh, already.
Undertale, that's Megalovania, that's Sans, and the one you were playing before that was Undyne's Battle.
Oh my God, Kollin! Kollin!
Look, I've also listened to that soundtrack religiously.
Listen, you weren't supposed to get the one before because that was just me having horrible editing skills and I wasn't able to edit it out. My guy, you need to calm down. All right. I don't think any of you are going to get this one, to be honest. I don't think any of you have played this game. But if you do, I'll be extremely surprised. So, and if you can't get it, I'll give you a hint. All right, here goes.
Buzz, I'm just gonna say Battle of the Colossus or whatever game.
Incorrect. That would be a really good guess though, but no. You want to listen to it again?
Yeah.
I'll give you guys a hint before we play it again. It is a MMO. Okay? All right. Now that you got that in your head?
Civilization? Buzz.
Nope. Incorrect.
No.
Buzz, World of Warcraft.
Correct. It is World of Warcraft.
Oh, what?
I've never played that game.
I've never heard. I don't remember hearing that, but
That's why I said I'm pretty sure none of you have played World of Warcraft.
Yes,
I have. I used to play it religiously.
Oh, really?
I
Interesting.
used to. I just didn't hear that song before.
I saw
Oh,
playing
right.
where they brought the levels from down to 55.
Oh, wow. You should have gotten that immediately then. That was literally one of the main
I
theme
did.
songs.
That's when I stopped
Oh.
playing. Yeah. Oh, I
Okay.
should have got. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying you should have got the guess is what I'm saying. All right, next one. Collin's in the lead, by the way. All right.
Buzz?
Josh.
It's not Key to the Heart, is it?
No, but you would be close.
Dang it.
Same universe.
Oh.
sounds so familiar.
It's on
I
a
have
tip
no
of your
idea.
tongues. I'll give you guys a hint. This series of games has well over 10.
Oh!
Final Fantasy.
Buzz.
Oh, Final
I was gonna say that. Yeah, he did buzz.
Wait,
though.
he didn't buzz. Josh, you
But I
buzzed? What was your
didn't
answer?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I
okay.
rebuzzed.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't hear you buzz, Colin.
Ah.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right, you know what? We'll give you both a point. Deal? Since you got it at the same time. But Colin's
No,
already well in the
because-
lead.
Because the last time I got the I answered it after the first one. Just fill in that half point to.
All right, so you get 3.5. Got it. I'll give Josh
no,
a full
I was saying
point.
fill in the half point, because when we did the World of Warcraft, that was my second answer.
Ooh,
'cause
you
I
are
get
correct.
So,
You are
so it'd
correct.
be just fill in that extra.
Got it.
Just make it to a full point. And anyway,
Sounds good to me. All right, so Colin's at 3 and Josh is at 1. Carnage 0. All right, you guys ready for the next one?
mm-hmm.
All right.
Buzz.
Colin.
Buzz. Mario Odyssey.
Oh my God, Mr. Switch expert over here. That is correct. I don't even know how you guys are gonna beat him at this point. Wow.
My excuse is I'm playing a game, so that's my problem.
All right. Yeah. Right. Next one.
Oh, what? Buzz?
But Josh.
Snake.
Wait, Buzz. Metal Gear.
Oh,
Josh.
I mean,
Metal Gear.
Josh, I'm going to.
I was gonna say it's Metal Gear Solid.
Give him the point. Give him the point. I'm just filling in. For him.
I was gonna
Did
say
not know.
I was going to give it to him, but I was gonna be like, Josh, do better next time.
I know.
Snake.
Well, I'm thinking of the original, when it first came out.
Mhm.
All right, this next one, I will be extremely surprised if any of you actually get this one, because this one is an oldie but a goodie. All right.
Buzz. Animal Crossing.
Incorrect.
What?
I'll give you guys a hint.
Buzz, that's not Pokemon, is it?
Nope. I'll
No.
give you a hint. It's an old school RPG.
Buzz, it's not Harvest Moon?
No.
No.
That's what's
I'll give you guys another hint before I give you the answer. It was on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the SNES.
SNES.
Buzz Chrono Watch or something like that.
Close. You want to try one more time?
That's all I know.
Nope.
Something.
Okay.
It's Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger.
Correct. I'll give you half a point.
Yeah, it was Chrono Trigger.
It was
There you go.
Chrono Trigger. Very good. All right. Last one.
It's
If
not
you got,
an RPG.
it is actually, yes. It is a role-playing game. It is considered an RPG. It's a tactical RPG because it has turn-based combat. It was similar to Final Fantasy, actually. So it had very similar combat systems.
Interesting.
Next one. This is the last one before the bonus one. Whoever gets this one will get 3 points if you guess it correctly from what game it's from, and also an extra point on top if you can give me the name of the actual song. Okay? All right.
Oh, quite.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
You got to be fast. Say buzz fast. Collin's going to get you to it before you guys do. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Buzz.
Josh.
Street Fighter.
Yes. And the name?
Oh, it does have it in my head. I don't know.
Buzz Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I don't know.
Actually, I think you are correct. I do believe it's Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but that's not what the answer I was looking for. I would have
You
accepted
looked
Street
at the
Fighter
name
2.
of the song, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys want to try one more time to get those extra
Well, you
bonus
said the
points?
name of the game.
The name of the game. He
What?
said the name of the game, but the name of the. I'll give you guys a hint. It's a theme for a specific character within that game. Do you want to listen to it one more time?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Ryu theme.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Then I got no clue.
All right. I'll just let you guys know then. It's Guile. Guile's theme.
Oh, God damn it.
That actually, it's really famous. That is a famous theme song.
Yeah.
So.
I've heard it, but I don't know who it's from. My friend who plays those games would know that song, but I
Gotcha.
didn't.
That guy got a point. Woohoo.
Josh, you got 3 actually. So you're actually in the lead.
I thought it was bonus if you got the thing.
I
but
said
no,
it was.
got
I said it was 3 if you get the correct answer because I wanted to
Oh,
give
okay.
somebody I wanted to get somebody to like compete with you because you were winning. So I said 3 for the name of the game, which he did, and then I wanted to give an extra point on top of that if you can guess that it was Guile's theme. That was the rule.
All right.
So all right, this last one, Carnage, you have to be able to get this one, my guy. We grew up with this. All right, you guys
Oh,
ready?
Buzz Halo.
No, you cheating bitch. All right.
All right.
3, 2, you guys gotta be fast. 1, go.
Buzz.
Josh.
Going I.
Yes.
James Bond.
Good job. All right, Josh is now at 6 points. Carter, did you not play GoldenEye on the N64?
I did.
Okay.
I heard it and I was about to say it, but I lost.
No worries. Yeah, Josh won, surprisingly, all because I gave him those extra points. I wanted to make it somewhat fair. I'm surprised Carter didn't get any of those. So
Again, I lost because of bonus points. Oh well.
I mean, you play Switch games. This should be a normal occurrence for you. Mario Party is literally built around bonus points.
I don't play Mario Party because I
Really?
have no friends.
Oh, damn. Oh, well, I was not expecting that. Unexpected burn, I guess. Sorry. No, I was going to say before we end the podcast, Mario Party is notorious for giving extra stars at the end of the game for the quote-unquote losers. So
Loser.
we run off of Mario Party rules here.
All right, guys, that's going to be another episode of Press C for Carnage. Make sure you check us out on our socials at Press C #4 Carnage. And before we let you go, here's a word from our sponsor, Arthur Morgan.
Howdy, friend. I'm Arthur Morgan, and I've got just the thing you need to make your life a whole lot more comfortable. These here are the finest pair of anti-chafing underwear in all of the West, trust me. I've worn my fair share of uncomfortable undergarments. And let me tell you, these will change your life. Now, I know what you're thinking. Anti-Chaffing underwear. That sounds like something a city slicker would wear. But let me tell you, out here on the trail, a good pair of anti-chafing underwear can mean the difference between a pleasing ride and a painful one. So why not give these a try? You won't regret it. And as they say, happy trails start with happy undercarriages. So come on down and take a look at these fine undergarments. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. And remember, when it comes to anti-chafing underwear, Arthur Morgan is your man.